There's this common misconception out there that Salesforce isn't that easy to use. Well, I want to show you what I learned about it and how it's actually a lot easier than you think, and it's way more user-friendly than people give it credit for. So I want to take you through a few quick examples of what makes Salesforce so easy to use. Hey everyone, welcome into this episode of Salesforce for Recruiters. My name's Brad Owens and I'm your host as always. So I was like you, I was a recruiter. I used to sit there wondering why I had to use this piece of crap ATS and what else is better out there. And then I discovered Salesforce. Salesforce was that piece of tech that I went, where has this been all my life? And I enjoyed using it so much that I want to share the knowledge that I gained through learning Salesforce and what it can do for recruiting with you. And that's here in Salesforce for Recruiters. So for today, the topic we're going to tackle is how easy is Salesforce actually to use? There's this common misconception out there that Salesforce isn't that easy to use. Well, I want to show you what I learned about it and how it's actually a lot easier than you think, and it's way more user-friendly than people give it credit for. So I want to take you through a few quick examples of what makes Salesforce so easy to use. And to do that, I'm going to share my entire screen with you so we can walk through this together and you can see how I use Salesforce. So what you're presented with here is the Salesforce interface. This is the Salesforce Lightning interface inside my own recruiting company's environment. So for today, imagine you work at Pacifica Recruiting. That's what we're going to be using today as our example. So I want to show you just the ease of navigating and actually using this software. First off, what I want to call to your attention is we're currently in the recruiting interface. So you can see that I've got the jobs that I'm working here up top. I've got all the jobs that have been recently assigned to me over here. And I've got my dashboard that has some of the metrics that matter most to me. Things like how many applicants do I have to review? What's my submission to interview ratio? What are my activities like? And how do I stack up to the whole rest of the team? Because that's what's relevant to me. But it may not be relevant to everyone that's actually using this. So we have the ability inside Salesforce to create different, what they call apps, to be able to actually view the things that are relevant to you. So if I were a sales user logging in for the day, I'd want to see something completely different than recruiters. I'd want to see what's my opportunity pipeline? How well am I doing at getting new business for a firm to work on? What's my win rate? How well am I bringing in these new opportunities? And then because I'm recruiting inside Salesforce, I don't stop just there at sales. I can see what recruiting's doing as well. So I can see based on my particular roles, what's my submission to interview ratio? Am I actually asking for the right talent for my recruiters? Or am I setting out to hire? Have I managed my expectations with the hiring manager well enough to know that the talent that I'm sending out to them is someone they're going to want to hire? So I'm able to have my own interface inside of Salesforce, regardless of who I am, that's tailored specifically to me. It's incredibly user-friendly. The second key topic that I wanted to cover off on today is the customization and how you can actually use this interface to benefit what you want to do. So we were here in our sales environment today. Now let's say we wanted to keep track of some of our contacts. Now Salesforce allows you the ability to just click through and view a different number of lists of contacts. So you can set up list views for anything that you want. If you wanted to see the birthdays that you have coming up this month or have your own personal hot list, these are the ones that I want to see at the top of my list every single time. Or maybe you wanted to collect together all your project managers, whatever it might be, you can create your own list view for those. That's just basic customization. But let's say we wanted to track something on an individual person. Like for instance, I wanted to keep track here of Brian O'Connor and a number of different things that we know about him. So I was able to understand his company name, his title, LinkedIn URL, his phone number, the basics that you'd want to track on a person, maybe their address or something like that that you wanted to keep track of. But you can see here, I've also got this new field that I added called height. Now, how easy is it for you to create these fields? Let me show you. We're just going to create this drag and drop right now. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to edit this page right here. It's going to bring up the Lightning App Builder, which is the interface inside Salesforce that allows you just to drag and drop little things around to what's going to be relevant for you. So you can see here that I have the height field right here. If I don't want it anymore, I just delete it out of my page and it's not going to be there anymore. You're not going to see that when we load up this individual's record. But if I wanted to add it back, I'd be able to go in here. I'd search for the field that I want. You can see it came up down here. I take that field and I drag it and place it right on the page. Now, when I go back to view my candidate's profile here, or my contact's profile, height's there. And it's exactly where I wanted it. Now, anything that you see on this page can be drag and dropped in a similar way. These tabs that are over here on the right-hand side, you can change these and move these around anywhere you want. These tabs that are right here on this object, you can move these around and have the information customized in any way that you want to actually view it. So Salesforce is very, very customizable so that you're able to see the things that are relevant to you when you want to see them. It makes it tremendously easy to use. So the third thing I want to cover off on today is reporting. One of the major benefits of Salesforce is the ease at which you can run reports inside the system. So we're actually going to create one today, and I'm going to show you how easy it could be. So for my use case, what I want to report out on today is my actual funnel, my candidate funnel of where they're at along the interview process. I want to see how many interviews we have going, how many placements did we make in the past year, how many people do we have applied, how many people are moving through the system, and I want to be able to see that. And I'm going to create this from scratch with you right here in this episode. So today we're going to click on a new report. Now, when you create a report inside Salesforce, you have to tell it what type. Like, do you want a job report? Do you want a person report? Do you want an applicant report? Like, what do you want this to actually be? So there's this type right here that I'm going to look for, which has my job applicants and their stages in it. Now, what you're presented with is the report builder interface. There's a few different things that I want to call out here. First, you have the outline. The outline is just what sorts of data do you want to have present in this report. You can see today it pulled out the job name that we're recruiting for, the stages and who might be in those, and then the applicant number. So that's the application number, the who actually has applied for this thing. Well, that's not really relevant for us, so we're going to remove that from our report. So we're going to remove the application number. What we do need is someone's name. So let's pull up the actual applicant's name here. We'll add that to our report, and we'll click refresh. And now what you're seeing is, okay, now we know for this job, here's the stages, and here's who actually is in those stages. That's starting to be more relevant to us. But again, we're really not understanding what we wanted to out of this. We wanted to see our entire candidate pipeline. So the way that we're able to do that is through filters. So here in our filters, right now we're filtered for only jobs that I own. So I'm going to change that. I want to see everything at this company. So I'm going to see all of our jobs. I'm going to apply that. And I don't just want to see something that has been created this current fiscal quarter. I want to see something just for purpose of our demonstration today. I want to see all time, every single job we've ever recruited on. So now if I hit refresh, you should have a little bit more data. There we go. So we've got quite a bit more data, and all of this is just showing us every single applicant we have in our system, what stage they're in and what job they applied for. But that doesn't help us create kind of what we wanted. We wanted to see everyone based on what kind of stage they're in. So for that, we need to create a group. We need to group these people by the stage they're in. And that's as easy as taking the stage down here and dragging it up and saying that's what we want to group our rows by. So now if I were to refresh this, you can start seeing here's everyone in the application status. Here's everyone at client submittal. Here's everyone at turnover review and all of those. So now if I were to run this report, now you're going to see every single person. I only have a few people since it's a demo environment, but you can see everyone and where they're at in our stages right now. Now this is nice because we can see at a glance how many people are in each stage, but what we truly want is a chart, right? So let's add a chart, and here you can see that it came up with just an idea of what it could look like. It's a bar chart, but we don't really want that. I want to truly see a funnel, so I'm going to change this to a funnel. You might notice we don't really have a lot of labels. We can't really see a lot of data here until we actually hover over it. We want something a little better. So what we're able to do is say we want to show those values. Now you see we show actually who's in each stage, how many. And because we can't see the legend where it's at, let's move the legend to the bottom. So now if I shut this down, you can see we've got a brand new report built with a brand new chart, and we have it labeled the way that we want to. So it's that easy to create a new report. If what we wanted to do is then save this or export it to a PDF or to send it to someone or allow someone to subscribe to this report so they get updates every time something changes, all of that can happen inside Salesforce. But that's how easy it is to build a report using Salesforce. Now, one of the other reasons that people typically want to try out Salesforce is because of how many integrations you truly can have in a Salesforce ecosystem. So I want to show you today just the two basic ones, Outlook and Gmail. Everyone wants to understand, hey, can we track all the emails that we send inside of our system, inside of our ATS, inside of Salesforce? Absolutely you can, and it's incredibly simple. Let me show you. So what we're going to do today is we're going to visit the Setup tab inside of Salesforce. Now, the setup in the back end really controls your entire Salesforce environment. It kind of shows at a global level what will truly happen when users take certain actions. And today, what we want to give them the ability to do is to set up an integration. So we'll just type in integration, and you can see right here under email, we have Gmail integration and Outlook integration. Now, normally at this point, everyone's like, oh, there's going to be so much to get this set up. Well, actually, when you click into Gmail integration, there's a single checkbox. Do you want to let users access Salesforce records from Gmail? Absolutely. Now, outside of that, do you want to track those so you can keep Gmail and Salesforce connected? Do you want to have the inbox synced through the inbox tool inside Salesforce? Who can use it? Do only a certain amount of people can use it? We can get that granular if we want to, but at a main level of integration, it's as simple as a checkbox. And then it's down to your users to just sign into their Gmail. Now the Outlook one, same thing. You can just click a single checkbox. And it doesn't stop there. You can see on the left-hand side all these different things that we can start integrating to, including Teams and a bunch of other external services and things like that. And if it's not available for you, Salesforce has a tremendous app exchange that allows out-of-the-box integrations through that, just like the iOS and the iPhone that you're used to, that app store. Same sort of thing exists inside Salesforce. So you tell me, based on that, is Salesforce really all that hard to use? I don't think so. Salesforce is incredibly easy to navigate. It's incredibly easy to customize to your specific use case. It's incredibly easy to build reports, and it's also easy to integrate with a number of different tools out there in the market. So I encourage you, go out and try Salesforce for yourself. Trailhead.com will start you on your journey to learn more about Salesforce. If you're curious how you actually do recruiting inside Salesforce, everything that I showed you today was made possible by Asymbl Applicant Tracking System. If you want to look that up, it's asymbl.com. The Asymbl Applicant Tracking System is what creates all of this being possible for you inside of Salesforce. So please do look that up. With that, I'll turn you loose. This is another episode of Salesforce for Recruiters. There's plenty more where that came from at salesforceforrecruiters.com. Until next time, thank you so much for spending some time out with me. If you have any questions whatsoever about how Salesforce may be able to help you in your recruiting journey, feel free to reach out. It's hello@bradowens.com. It's just hello@bradowens.com. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.